Hey guys! So before I get started on this video, I just want to say a few things. First of all, I got my nails done for the first time. I got them done at Ulta. They're kind of pointy. It's weird. And yes, these are my real nails. They're just incredibly long, and I was kind of blessed with strong nails. They don't really ever break. So yes, these are my new nails. Second of all, I'm wearing a bun. Isn't that weird? Because like, I have short hair, but I'm wearing a bun. Ain't that crazy? Anyways, the third thing that actually has to do with this video a little bit is I'm not wearing a lot of makeup today. And, you know, that's just okay. Because my skin needs to breathe a little bit. Plus, I have these cute little freckles on my nose. Aren't those cute? I'm not wearing eyeliner, which is like my staple thing. And, you know, that's alright. Because my face feels great. So this video is kind of a mix of things. The first thing being emetophobia. I wanted to make a separate video on emetophobia, talking all about it and like talking about my experiences with it. But basically, the idea kind of started when we were in Utah, when we had just arrived in Las Vegas. I know that's not in Utah, that's just where we landed. There was a girl and she was like waiting in line and she was like 2 years old. And she threw up everywhere and obviously I had a panic attack and almost started crying. But that kind of sparked a video idea in my head, and I'm like, you know, people really need to know about this because it's like it's a thing. It's a thing that I have. And I was gonna make a separate video on it, but you know, I want to like lighten it up and not make it too dark. So I'm kind of adding it to this. And this video also has to do with just people in general. Just people. You know, you'll find out. But basically, the whole premise of this video is people are just kind of insensitive. You know, they just are. So today I'm going to be telling you about insensitive people. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to talk about, like I said, is emetophobia. It's the fear of throwing up, and I've struggled with it for about 6 years. So basically, people do not realize that emetophobia is like a real thing. And they just kind of pass it off as like, oh, it's not a fear of throwing up, it's just a dislike. And no, it's not just a dislike of throwing up. It is the utter phobia of throwing up. And I would know because I have it. I don't know why. Everyone asks, oh, well, why are you scared of throwing up? I don't know why. It's just so terrible, and I think that when I try to explain it, I always end up saying, oh, it's just so gross and like it's not fun at all, and that's what gets people thinking like, oh, it's just a dislike. But I don't really know how to explain it. It's just like I'm so scared of it and I don't know why. It like gives me really bad anxiety attacks and people just don't really care. Hey Ellie, like what's your biggest fear? Throwing up, definitely. I'm terrified of throwing up. It gives me really bad anxiety and I get panic attacks from it. So I'd have to say throwing up is my worst fear. No, I said like worst fear. Like, no one likes throwing up. You're not any different than anyone else. No one likes throwing up. What's your worst fear? I don't think you're understanding. I know everyone dislikes throwing up, but I have a fear of it. A fear of it. Do you understand? My biggest fear is throwing up. I don't really believe you, but if that is your biggest fear, that's completely irrational. Throwing up isn't gonna hurt you, and being high up in the air is. I just don't really think people understand that it's like actually a fear. But anyone out there, it's a fear. I think I know what a fear is. Another thing that inspired me to make an Insensitive People video happened on May 19th, 2017, and a few days after that. Anyways, May 19th, 2017, if you don't know, was when my favorite person in the whole world, Mr. Nelson, told us that he was leaving. I'll talk about that later. Anyways, so there are these idiots who are sitting at my math table. I'm just gonna kind of indirect them right now. Hopefully they don't watch my videos. I sure hope they don't. They like making fun of me for having feelings. Yep. So basically what happened was on May 19th, 2017, they called all the orchestra students down to the orchestra portable. And that is where Mr. Nelson told us that he would be leaving for a different job with the district. I'm gonna cry right now. Anyways, as I have just told you, he was my favorite person, and I wrote a whole speech and stuff. I'll talk about that later. But of course I started bawling, and I could not stop because, like, he's my favorite person, and obviously I don't want him to leave. So, yeah, I was crying very intensely, but I had to go back to class. I mean, I wasn't just gonna stay there for the rest of the day. So I had to go back to math class, and I was crying quite a lot. And my table group just asked, oh, why are you crying? So I told them, oh yeah, Mr. Nelson's leaving, and I really cared about him, so I'm gonna miss him a lot, and yeah, I'm crying. So the sweet, sweet person at my math table continued for the next few days to remind me that he was leaving, just so he could see me cry and get sad. Yes. Insensitive people. This is basically what happened for like the next week. Hey, guess what, Ellie? Mr. Nelson's leaving. Oh, thanks for that. I just don't find how other people find enjoyment in people crying or being sad. It just doesn't really click in my brain. And I guess you could just say, oh, well, you're just sensitive. But really, does that make it okay for you to make someone cry? Think about it. Another thing people like to tell me to do is how to do my makeup correctly. Like, oh, wear less makeup. You're wearing too much. Or, why are you wearing any makeup today? Wear your makeup. Like, can't I just do it how I want? And it's not really necessarily that I'm mad at these people, or that, like, I tell them off because I'm too scared to talk to people in general. But, you know, it does get on my nerves when people constantly try to tell me how to live my life. Because it's my life, it's not your life to live, it's my life to live. So why can't I just live it how I want to live it? Is it really that hard to understand? If you guys do want me to make a full-length video on emetophobia and like how I try to get through it and how I try to get through panic attacks and stuff, then just click up here. There will be a little eye with a circle around it, and there will be a little poll so you can say like, oh, I want a video about emetophobia, or I don't want a video about emetophobia, and vote on that. Please, everyone vote on that if you're seeing this right now. Anyways, I hope you guys liked this video. It was just a short little kind of ranty video, but you guys might have liked it. But if you did like it, make sure to give it a like, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!